The University of the Free State is one of South Africa's oldest public institutions of higher education, having been established in 1904. Today and into the future, the university aims to advance its national and global reputation as a research-led, student-centered, and regionally engaged university through scholarship, knowledge, and societal impact. In 2019, following the public consultation on the Steyn statue, the Free State Provincial Heritage Resource Authority issued a permit on the removal of the statue to the Boer War Museum for better historical contextualization. The permit also required the university to reinterpret, reimagine, and recontextualize the space from where the statue had previously stood. This space, situated in front of the main building on the Bloemfontein campus, was formerly named President's Plain in 1984 by the university in order to acknowledge the leaders and alumni who had played a role in advancing the university status at the time. However, over the years, members of the university community have generally spoken of the space using various nicknames. In the 1920s, it was given the moniker Darkest Africa, with reference to the deep shade provided by the tall trees that grew in it. From the 1940s, the space has been widely known as the Rooi Plein or Red Square. To this day, this nickname, Rooi Plein or Red Square, is better known than the official name. Anecdotal evidence suggests that the nickname Rooi Plein or Red Square emerged in the 1940s when the university's lecture rooms were all based in what is today known as the main building. Apparently, students viewed this building as an overbearing center of power, as their tests and exam results would be posted at the main door of the building. So, as did fellow students at the Stellenbosch University, UFS students humorously tied the main building to the Kremlin in Russia, which stands in front of the famous Moscow Red Square. To meet its obligations to reinterpret, reimagine, and recontextualize the space from where the statue previously stood, and to advance the university's commitment to develop and promote knowledge for the betterment of society, a special task team established by the Vice-Chancellor recommends the space to be renamed to Gauteng. This recommendation is couched in a comprehensive document that thoughtfully discusses how the square can be further re-understood and used to advance the social justice agenda of the UFS. What does Gauteng mean? The Special Task Team describes a khotla as a public meeting, a community council, or a traditional law court in a Basotho village. They further indicate that in South African English, a lekgotla is a meeting to deliberate upon issues. The idea of a khotla may in some sense remind readers of the ancient Greek notion of an agora, which was a central place in a city where citizenry met to deliberate in ways that are often seen to have anticipated Western democratic civil society. At least, as at an agora, contesting ideas were deliberately pitted against each other. For this reason, to speak of a Gauteng is to raise the notion of a space in which ntwagolo ke ya molomo. To the fiercest of verbal fights takes place on the understanding that the highest form of war is dialogue. Traditionally, khotla was spaces for all to be heard as societies attempted to arrive at just solutions to problems. So, to name the central court at the heart of the Bloemfontein campus Gauteng is to therefore pay homage to the ideal of the university as a space par excellence for the deliberative contestation of ideas in pursuit of better forms of communing, under which all can be the most they can be. The 2020 naming and renaming policy of the UFS promotes the use of symbolic and evocative concepts in the naming of assets, including spaces, in languages drawn from the African continent and from the Free State province. As explained by the Special Task Team, Gauteng is drawn from the Sotho-Tswana language group and is symbolic of the Khoi language group, which have influenced and shaped many of the African languages. Further, the root word khotla, from which khotleng is drawn, is used widely in Afrikaans and English, and it thus presents a vision of South Africans and members of the UFS deliberatively creating a common cultural heritage. What would khotleng mean in the university's vision? One of the pillars of a research-led, student-centered, and regionally engaged university is dialogue to contest, dialogue to develop, and dialogue to refine ideas for the purpose of the betterment of society. The UFS ascribes to the principles underpinning the Constitution of the Democratic Republic of South Africa, namely those of non-sexism and non-racialism. The university therefore promotes khotleng as an inclusive space. Understanding the process. The recommended renaming of President's Plain to khotleng is guided by the 2020 naming and renaming policy of the university. Public education and consultation are essential in ensuring that the university's vision is understood by its stakeholders and that the space for all to participate in the development and implementation of the vision is open. This project started off in June 2022 with the first phase, which consisted of a series of dialogue as well as a survey which sought to understand the community's thinking on the proposed renaming concept. The participation of the UFS members and communities in this overall process is of utmost importance, for we jointly and collaboratively built the University of the Free State.